What is good, Ninja? OG over here from Player Essence, and welcome to another PE News video. Today, we've got some interesting information because we got more on Unreal Engine 4 when it comes to optimization on the Nintendo Switch from Epic Games. We also have GameStop expecting a big 2018 for Nintendo Switch with many unannounced games, and also Cat Quest looks like it's getting a physical release on the Switch as well, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we are starting off with Epic Games. They are hiring an engineer to support all platforms with Unreal Engine 4, and of course including the Nintendo Switch. So I want to talk a little bit about what this person is going to be responsible for at Epic Games with Unreal Engine 4. So they're going to be driving performance of Unreal Engine 4 on the PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch to world-class level, working closely with the Paragon and Fortnite game teams on issues impacting performance on console platforms, bug fixing and maintaining the existing Unreal Engine 4 code base, analyzing and fixing common problems in a game engine such as load times, memory usage, and performance issues, supporting external customers by answering their requests and questions. So shoutouts to Doctre81 who found out this information in terms of the LinkedIn searches. He's the LinkedIn master when it comes to game developers and all that. And this is good to see because there's a couple different things that I want to talk about when it comes to Unreal Engine 4 and on the Nintendo Switch. And that is making sure that everything is optimized and ready to go. Now we've seen a number of smaller end titles, independent games, some of the bigger end ones and some of the small ones use Unreal Engine 4 to some good results and to some mixed results. For example, like Rime on the Nintendo Switch. That game definitely didn't perform well at first, and they did get an update out which fixes quite a number of things, but there's still some work that needs to be done when it comes to Unreal Engine 4 on the Nintendo Switch and making sure that it gets the bigger end titles up and going. Now, the most recent information is Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age, right? And kind of how that uses Unreal Engine 4 and how it's not been updated as much as they needed it to be in order to get the game out on time, which is exactly true. This game has been in development for 4 years or so using Unreal Engine 4 in terms of the PS4 and the PC, and the fact that the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017 and was still getting updates all throughout that year in order to get Unreal Engine 4 games optimized and going kind of goes to tell you that yes, there's still some work that needs to be done. So what I'm hoping for is that this guy can come in along with the Paragon team basically being done, right? The Paragon team is no more, so they put that in there, but the Paragon team basically all moved over to Fortnite and they can kind of bust it and make sure that they get Unreal Engine 4 optimized more and ready to go for Fortnite on the Nintendo Switch, but also for other developers who use Unreal Engine 4. For example, Bandai Namco's titles with stuff like Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. You also have Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Code Vein. All of those games use Unreal Engine 4, and I think that there might be some issues at this point if they were to port them over, or developers could be waiting on updates while they're doing their ports for the Nintendo Switch to make sure everything is running smoothly on the platform. I still think that there's some work that needs to be done for the bigger end titles. Now we did hear some rumors about Code Vein having some few issues here and there in terms of Unreal Engine 4 with the Nintendo Switch, but it was all just based on rumors. But there is something going down saying that that game is going to be ported over. We do know that Bandai Namco does want to make sure that they get their games out on the Nintendo Switch, considering how good it's selling based on what the president had to say here. So all of this is kind of falling into place when it comes to Unreal Engine 4, making sure they get some more optimization, making sure that they include the Nintendo Switch with this engineer listing. And I think Epic is working extremely hard to make sure that all of the Unreal Engine 4 games can be supported on the Nintendo Switch and the engine can get things up and going. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to have the memory issues, you're going to have the load times, you're going to have the bad textures that we saw with Rime, just because maybe it wasn't using it as an updated version of Unreal Engine, but they really wanted to just push the game out. So you have to make sure that you optimize things. You have to make sure that your game can kind of handle what's going on when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. That's resulting in some delays here and there, but we also had stuff like Snake Pass, which was really good as well. So it just depends and it varies from game to game, but I'm hoping this does lead to the whole Fortnite train, because I think that the Nintendo Switch would be the perfect platform for that style of game. Now, I still find Fortnite kind of silly, to be honest, but at the same time, I can understand its appeal. I understand why people love the game. I understand why people play it, and I'm looking forward to it being on the Nintendo Switch and picking it up because it is free. So what do you guys think about this whole thing when it comes to Fortnite and the Unreal Engine 4 in terms of optimization, hiring this engineer? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next topic here, GameStop is expecting 2018 to be another big year for the Nintendo Switch with multiple unannounced titles that are going to be dropping this year. So this was during a recent financial call for GameStop, and the CEO had this to say when he fielded a question about how the Nintendo Switch could do in 2018. So here was the CEO, Mike Mahler's response to that. Yeah, I think that's a fair question with Nintendo. I mean, we know kind of what happened with Wii U. I'd say this is definitely a whole different platform than we saw in the past. We have visibility to the software. So last year was a tremendous year for the software as well as hardware between Zelda and Mario Odyssey, and all the games that they had really drove a lot of hardware sales as well as software. I think this year, when we look at the slate of titles, many of which haven't been announced yet, this year looks also very, very strong. So I think at least for 2018, we'll continue to see the strong software slate drive additional install base on the hardware and increase attach rate. We don't have really visibility for 2019 yet, but for 2018, it should play out that way. So definitely there's some big stuff that's kind of coming up for the Nintendo Switch in 2018. A lot of people are kind of wondering, well, what is Nintendo going to do? I've already seen posts saying, oh, well, Nintendo doesn't have much for 2018 at all, which I find ridiculous. They already have more games being released in this first half of the year than they did last year. But I think the end of 2018, in terms of the last half, is going to be when Nintendo really pulls out the big guns. We know that Fire Emblem is coming. We know that Super Smash Bros. Is coming. I think that Bayonetta 3 is also coming because they dropped Bayonetta 1 and 2 earlier this year, and they want to keep that momentum with that game. Apparently the sales have been pretty good from what we've been seeing here with the NPD with Bayonetta 2, so I do think that Bayonetta 3 will be dropping this year, and I think there's going to be a lot more. Nintendo's going to have a huge E3. Nintendo Directs are also going to play a part into that. We saw what they're doing with SNK, the Tag Team Frenzy, that game, in terms of the deal that went on there. Also what's going on with stuff like Project Octopath Traveler, Captain Toad, Crash Bandicoot, Dark Souls, and also other games like BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. There's just quite a number of third-party and first-party software, even in this first half, that is dropping, and I think the end of the year is even going to be bigger. But the thing that I want to kind of focus on is what he said in terms of unannounced titles. There are lots of games that have not been announced yet, so that's where E3 kind of comes into play. That's where the Nintendo Directs kind of come into play. Nintendo's going to make sure that they really drive hardware at the second half of the year. I think it's going to be huge for Nintendo hardware in that second half and drive the units up, because you don't want things overlapping. The thing about it is that Nintendo released so much software last year. Even in this first half, people are still buying last year's games, and we see that with the NPD. Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, those games are still in the top sales pretty much in every single region. If you look at the top 50, top 20 for most places, you see Super Mario Odyssey, you see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is still being bought, Fire Emblem Warriors is getting a little bit of a second win because of the price drops on the special edition. There are a number of games that are still selling from last year, so Nintendo didn't want to overload things too much with new titles, because a lot of people are still buying the games from last year and still buying the Nintendo Switch, because there's still a lot of customers out there that don't have one. So I can see the strategy that Nintendo shifted over to make sure that you don't have too much overlap, because there's still a lot of people that are still buying last year's games. Splatoon 2 and ARMS are still selling well. Even in Japan, those games are in the top 20, at least Splatoon 2 is. I know ARMS kind of goes into the top 30 or top 40, but Splatoon 2 is still one of the top sellers worldwide. People are just still buying the games, still buying the system. So I see the strategy here, and I think it's going to play off well. Even with this first half, we're getting some good games, and then the second half is really going to be huge when a lot of those customers finish up last year's games and can get into the new content for this year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Nintendo has. I think there's going to be a lot of different games here. So what do you guys think Nintendo is going to do for the second half? What other games outside of Fire Emblem and Super Smash Bros. Do you see Nintendo publishing from a first-party standpoint? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the final topic for this video, we've got Cat Quest listed for a physical release on the Nintendo Switch. And guys, this was one of my favorite games of 2017. Cat Quest is a charming adventure to where you go through. It's kind of like a spoof on Skyrim, and you just battle people, you level up, you get new armor. It's awesome. It's just a great, simple, and fun game. But it does seem like Cat Quest will be receiving a physical release on the Nintendo Switch. According to a listing from 365 Games, the UK retailer has it down for July 6th. That date, as well as the physical version in general, have not been confirmed, but an announcement could be coming based on this. Now, PQ did publish a physical version of Cat Quest on the PlayStation 4, so giving the Nintendo Switch that type of physical version would be awesome as well. And guys, if you have not played Cat Quest, please check it out. It's funny, it has some great cat puns in there, and I was giggling the whole time I was playing the game. I actually have a Let's Play that I did on the game, and you guys will see what I'm talking about with this title. It's smooth, it's fun to play, There's tons of quests to go over. It's not necessarily the longest game out there. It can use some more content in terms of an expansion or even a great sequel, but this game has been selling phenomenal on the Nintendo Switch. It was one of the best selling versions of the game. It was in the top 20 for the eShop charts for quite a number of weeks last year, so I fully expect Cat Quest to get some type of sequel or some type of expansion to the game because it's too fun, it's too good for a smaller end title, and the game is very affordable. I think I bought it for like $14 or $12, something like that. It was something lower than $15, and I know that if they brought out a physical version, maybe it'd be 20 bucks for the physical version, but it gets more eyes on the game to where you can kind of go into the store and say, hey, look at this game for 20 bucks. Maybe I'll pick it up. So impulse buy for a lot of people. So I'm hoping for this physical edition. And seriously though, guys, you guys need to check out Cat Quest if you get the opportunity. Make sure you watch my Let's Play on the video. I thought it was a hilarious game. I had a ton of fun playing it, and I think a lot of you guys would really love what Cat Quest offers too if you gave the game a try. So check it out on the eShop. It is available there to where you can pick it up, purchase it, and you can just kind of jump right in. Runs really well in portable mode, runs great in docked mode, and it's just one of those really fun games that a lot of people maybe missed, but I think that people are going to get back into this if they release a physical edition of the game, because there are some people who like physical only, even if it's a smaller end or eShop title. So I'm hoping this is true, but we'll just have to wait and see for the results here. So what do you guys think about all the different topics here that we discussed when it comes to Cat Quest, GameStop, and the unannounced Nintendo Switch titles continuing into 2018, and also Epic and Unreal Engine? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Alright Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. Got Facebook and Twitter, social media. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow. It really helps us spread the content of Player Essence across the internet in addition to YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our Patreon, Twitch, and YouTube live gaming pages and consider supporting Player Essence. When you do so, it gets you access to all sorts of cool benefits, perks, rewards, and emotes via YouTube sponsorship. So check out the link in the description below and consider supporting Player Essence right here on YouTube. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to Player Essence for the latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you Ninja for the next video. Peace.